Vince, Sweet Caroline. You know how I feel about it. I love Pep Amps and Sweet Caroline, so I'm now okay. I really like this place. Thanks, Vince.
From Cascade High School on the west edge of Hendricks County, we welcome you to a Tuesday night edition of high school basketball here on ISC and Endeavor Communications. Mark Janes and Jan Bozier set to bring you all the action as the Greencastle Tiger Cubs, with a record of 15-5, pay a visit to the Cascade Cadets with a record of 11-8. Endeavor Communications, internet speeds up to a gig. Learn more at weendeavor.com. And Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. Stop knocking on wood and call Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, your sponsors of high school basketball tonight. As I mentioned, happy to be joined by Jan Bozier again tonight. Jan, not too far away from where we were a week ago, Monrovia and Tri-West. An interesting matchup between two teams that are playing pretty good basketball as they start to prepare for the tournament.
You know, just the tournament's about 3 weeks away or so. Listen, the key now for both these ball clubs, momentum. One's got 7 wins in a row. That's Cascade. Greencastle with 9. And for that, Mark, if you really break down numbers for me, one thing sticks out. Defense has been consistent.
Bryce Rector, the head coach at Greencastle, in his 9th season at 127-91. David Carpenter at 36-52 in his 4th season. Best season they've had in a while here at Cascade High School. Dan Carpenter's done a nice job of resetting this program. It's not a rebuild. It's just kind of a retool over the past couple of years. He's 11-8. And what makes this an interesting matchup, he said, in terms of coaching, Bryce Rector and I are very good friends.
Yeah, this is a cool rivalry. You know this community a lot better than I do, but what little time I've spent, there's a lot of closeness. Everybody knows everybody, including you.
Cascade looks a little bit like North Carolina throwbacks,
They do.
don't they? Wearing the home whites, the cadets, and they will start Ryder Williams, a 6'2 sophomore at one guard, with Mason Warren at the other guard, number 12. Toby Savini wears number 5, Brady Tremblay 22, and Connor Sanders wears number 23. Again, the Cascade Cadets' first shot of the ball game is up and good.
Well, neither one of these teams, Mark, shoots a lot of threes, but all you need is a couple more, and it might be the difference.
Greencastle will counter with Sam Gooch, who wears number 10, 12 Connor Sullivan, 15 Trevin Long, 24 Nathan Sutherland, and number 32 Ian Williamson. Sam Gooch is their go-to guy. Keep an eye on him. Great transition opportunity for the Cascade Cadets, and Trepley's there with the easy deuce.
I like that. When you can make 3 passes and get a bucket, that's what coaches want.
Greencastle, according to David Carpenter in scouting his opponents, said they're playing about as well as anybody in the state right now. I believe they reeled off 9 wins in a row, Jan.
That's impressive. And really, it's all about being hot right now. And talked about that, staying hot. This will be – neither one of these teams, Mark, have a lot of margin of error. You got to stay close.
Gooch with the good dish and finds Williamson flashing to the bucket. Williamson averages 3.3 points per contest to go along with 5 rebounds. His scoring numbers not gaudy, but they don't need to be with the balance that they have elsewhere on the floor. Great defensive play, and the Greencastle Tiger Cubs commit the theft. Nathan Sutherland going to run it ahead in transition. Good look to Williamson, and a good pass right back to Gooch, who's there for the easy deuce.
You know, when you see passes like that, that's a comfort. A team's really developed a great chemistry.
Court awareness for sure, and knowing where everybody is all the time. Cascade, nice reverse look, lays it up off the glass and in. So Trebley with the deuce. He has 4, and that makes it a 7-4 affair. 3-point lead for the Cadets. Connor Sullivan handling the ball on the point to Trayvon Long. Long wants a screen from Williamson. He'll spot up from 16. That's a good-looking jump shot.
Boy, that was elevation at its best. Got up to shoot that. They're hard to block when you do that.
7-6. Back to a 1-point lead for the Cadets.
Little 2-3 zone by Greencastle. We got a travel, Mark.
Forced the turnover. Kevin Brown, Paul Beam, and a good friend Jason Ferguson handling the officiating duties tonight. Nice of Jason to come up and say hello. Of course, these guys have all called state championships. Jason certainly in football the number of years. This is a very accomplished officiating crew, as they all are. We're just really familiar with this trio and happy to have him here tonight.
Well, I thought once this game kind of settled down, this half court would really determine both teams love the paint. Who can defend it the best, Mark, will be a huge key.
Yeah, you mentioned defense and defending the passing lanes pretty well. The Cascade Cadets. 7-6 early 1-point lead. Cascade started quickly, and Greencastle slowed the pace a little bit and slowed them down. forcing one up in traffic. Can't get it to fall to Sutherland, and the Cadets come in transition. Trembling stops, pops, and hits.
Yeah, and I talked about this disciplined offense. Both coaches told us that they really need good shot selection.
Rapidly moving first quarter, under 5 minutes to go. Gooch with a strong drive and put a little bit too much English on it and rolls out. Did everything but go through the bucket.
Yeah, I like that shot. I've always been a big fan, Mark, of the half hook. It's almost impossible to block.
You know, though, using that painted square is a lost art near the bucket.
Yeah.
I mean, that finger roll thing just looks cooler, but boy, if you put it in that square 9 times out of 10, you're going to get that kiss off the glass and through the bucket. I'm showing my age, I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. A lot of missed buckets are because you don't use the glass. I've always, all the years of broadcast and all the coaches that I've ever been around say if it hits the glass, it typically goes in.
Good two-man basketball. 15-footer on the baseline is good. They attacked it from an angle, kicked it back to the baseline, and Ryder Williams is there for the deuce.
That's just good offense. Both teams talked about running the offense, good shot selection. So far, so good, really, both teams.
There's a good head and shoulders move by Warren, but he got his pocket picked and a foul going back the other way. We've talked about Brady Tremblay and his 6 first-quarter points. I would imagine you don't want to wish your son's life away, but pressure's going to be off his dad when he graduates because his dad is the superintendent at Speedway High School, so it's made for some interesting challenges for the superintendent of Speedway schools whenever Cascade and Speedway plays in football. Six-point lead for the Cadets. They have the basketball.
This zone's kind of sagging a little bit, trying to defend that paint a little more.
Williamson retrieves the loose ball, and Nathan Sutherland brings it up in transition. They'll go to Gooch in the corner. He'll drive in the paint. Thought about a fadeaway. He's stuck in there, needs to get out before the 3-second count. Strong drive to the bucket. Sutherland gets shut off. Little turnaround fadeaway, rolls around, and won't go in. Transition opportunity for the Cascade Cadets. Williams. Nice ball rotation. Deep three in the corner. No. Rebound controlled by Greencastle. Long in transition. Gets it to the middle of the floor. They fill the lane. Williamson can't gather it in, but he saves it deep to Sutherland. Now they'll reset the offense.
Cadets in a very tough man-to-man, Mark. Unlike their opponents doing a zone, they're playing straight up.
3-minute mark, quarter number 1. Entertaining basketball game early. Patient offensive set. Greencastle starts to force the issue just a bit. Drive and knocked away out of bounds. Endeavor Communications proudly sponsors this ball game. Endeavor Communications doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play and connectivity. Visit We Endeavor or call 800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory.
Mark, I know all the years you've coached and taught, the word patience is interesting for 16, 17, 18 years old, right? But listen, these teams who can develop patience on offense, especially when you're averaging this 50-55 thing, you have to have patience to get that good shot selection.
Yeah, no question. Takes a lot of discipline, a lot of buy-in. Gooch gets shut off, and I think he was looking for somebody out on the wing, and he threw it into the Cascade bench instead.
I think one of the interesting stats about Greencastle is they're only averaging 10 turnovers. That's part of the patience.
Now, one of the things that Bryce Rector talked about was controlling Cascade's transition games, and he said you can't give them any easy catch-and-shoot threes. He said they will make you pay. He said they're an outstanding offensive rebounding team, so we have to make sure that we give them one opportunity, and that's it.
Cascade playing with the lead. They're just going to let Greencastle set back in that zone for a while, play some defense.
They do work the perimeter and wait for you to make a mistake. Oh, nice recovery there defensively. Ball knocked out of bounds. Good elevation. Good look and a nice recovery.
Yeah, I think he's going to be shooting 3. Set on the shot.
Oh, so they called it on the shot.
Yeah, he sure
okay.
did. And I think that's a good call. It was clean at first, and he kind of fell into him.
Probably the body.
Shot.
Yeah.
I think that's a good call.
Spoken like a former official. Mason Warren at the free throw line misses the first attempt. Cascade. Toby Savini comes over for some instructions from David Carpenter. Good on that attempt.
No question now, down the stretch. Free throw shooting, a lot of ups and downs through this year. The free throw shooting as a whole, the games I've done, has not been superb for sure. But down the straight here, you've got to be hitting free throws during tournament time.
2 out of 3 from the free throw line and bumps the lead up to 8 at 14-6. And so far, they have prevented Greencastle from getting into any kind of a rhythm offensively. Need to get Gooch on track. I mean, he averages 17 points and 5 rebounds a game, and they've held him to just a bucket here in this first quarter. They've done a really nice job defending him, matching up well.
Well, they're switching on everything, and I like that. A lot of times you try not to switch, and then you get caught in those high ball screens.
Gooch had a couple looks along the baseline to the left side, but they couldn't find him. Sutherland gets shut off. I really like Cascade's defense and the way they're moving their feet. They've got a low base, good wide base. Forces a shot up from 14, and I think Cascade will take that every time defensively.
Yeah, that was really good half-court defense.
Cadets in transition. 1:25 to play in the quarter. Savini, nice pass down low, but it's kicked. 22 substitution. That's Anthony Adams, a 6'1" senior. That's body control. Trebley with 8 points in the quarter.
And I'll tell you what else I like. Bodies moving without the ball. When you move without the ball, you're hard to defend, and he did all the above.
Bumps the lead up to 10, and Bryce Rector's got some work to do in making adjustments during the timeout, which is about a minute away. Gooch. That's hard to defend.
Yeah, there's your glass, Mark, and that's exactly the result you get when you kiss it off the glass.
That's how he gets to be a 17-point-per-game scorer. Errant pass, but it's gathered in, and Cascade will get the opportunity here. Savini out high. Clock down to 40 seconds. Sagging a little bit defensively as Cascade appears content to run this clock out the quarter.
Well, there's your word, patience again. You have to learn when you have the lead, take care of the lead.
Good triangle approach to attacking this zone from the elbow.
Yep.
And the spacing is the key. It's down to 17 seconds now as they have to reverse it, skip it across the top of the zone.
And very little dribbling. I've had so many games where players have tried to dribble out of problems. That's never a good result.
Now they'll pick up the pace a little bit with 5 seconds remaining in the quarter. The kick in the corner, three-pointer off the buzzer. How about that?
How good is a gift from them, Mark?
Mason Warren with the trifecta at the buzzer, and it is all Cascade early, 19-8. Nathan Begley of Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance. You're good at a lot of things, like cheering your team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance says Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan is here to help you think through any questions you have about your auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance. Talk to Nathan in person, online, or over the phone at 317-507-7871, or stop by his office at 9821 East U.S. Highway 36 at Avon. Start with your local Avon agent, Nathan Begley at Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, and stop knocking on wood. So, Jan, your thoughts and impressions of a pretty productive first quarter for the Cascade Cadets?
I've always been that believer that you've got to come out at home and get off to a good start. And when you do, typically good things happen. 19-8. I'm sure Cascade may have played pretty good, but that may be as good as they played in the first quarter.
David Carpenter said they focused on the basics of late, and as the season progresses, he said you get more and more focused on situations game to game, but he said we really have kept it simple the past few weeks. On defense, closeouts, active hands, help, positioning, and offensively, playing off two, bounce passes, cutting hard, being strong with the ball, which we saw all of that in the first quarter. He said huge strides to focus their energy and enthusiasm, and I think all of that mission accomplished. That's why Gooch is, I think, according to even David Carpenter, one of the best players in the area. 6 points per goal, 6 points in the contest for him now.
Now, the key is to maintain the same intensity that you just talked about and not let Greencastle get on a run.
Sutherland in transition, and there they go on a bit of a run. Back-to-back points to start the quarter. First point of the ball game for Tegan McRoberts, and just like that, they've cut it down to 7. And they can go on a run in a hurry. So if you're Cascade, there's no reason to push the panic button here. Just keep doing what you're doing. Battle for the loose ball, tied up, and we might have a foul. Don't see the Jason Ferguson is going to call the foul on Brady Trebley for Cascade.
Well, that's a rebound I think Cascade feels like they missed. They had a check out, but still allowed Greencastle to get a hand on that.
I would look for Sam Gooch to be a bit more involved offensively in this quarter for Greencastle. He is their go-to guy. Really good defense with a wide base by Connor Sanders of Cascade to shut him off as he drove to the bucket. Good, strong cut. Cut off baseline, though, not being able to do anything with it with Anthony Adams. He flips it out to Mason Warren, who floats it up from about 8 feet out, can't get it to fall. Cadets in transition. Baseline drive. Shut off at a steal, but on the out-of-bounds line is Greencastle. It'll stay with the Cadets.
Well, he was fine until he brought the ball down, Mark. Once you bring the ball down in the paint, you're going to be in trouble. He's got to go. I think he could have went up strong or kicked it back out. You bring that ball down, though, you're in trouble.
Mason Warren comes in, and Brady Trebley will have a seat. Lob in, Greencastle. Adams in transition. Sutherland. We got a hand check. Hey, busy times around the state on Saturday. Semi-state girls basketball action in Frankfort. It'll be Hamilton Southeastern and Valpo, Warsaw, and McCutcheon. At Southport, it'll be Pike, Bloomington South, Gibson Southern, and Lawrence North. We'll give you the rest of the schedule as time permits. Cascade makes a steal on the inbounds. Savini in transition, floats it up in the paint. It did everything but fall through. Rebound being fought for.
I like it. People getting after it. I like it.
And Sutherland in transition. Ball knocked away into the hands of the Cadets, and they might have a transition opportunity here and a hard foul.
Yeah, that's a good, hard, clean foul. Make him earn it. Don't let him have an easy one there, but that's a lack of taking care of the basketball right there. Take a look at the replay. Cascade really starting to cave it into paint defensively.
Mason Warren at the free throw line, 8 points for the 6'3" junior. Back up to an 8-point lead for the Cadets. Greencastle has not been able to find any level of comfort offensively throughout the first half.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's the way Cascade has came out and played. They've been the better aggressor, and right now Greencastle's, I think, got to match that same intensity.
Warren, 10 first half points, makes it 21-12. Shot put up, no good. Cascade limiting them to one opportunity. As Trebley recently returned to the fray, and he's able to grab the rebound and picks up the cheap foul across the timeline, put it on Trevin Long.
Well, I think your point there is absolutely dead on. Very few second looks on the offensive end for Greencastle, and that's another feather in Cascade's hat.
Bryce Rector said in order for them to be successful, their defense forces you to hunt for good shots offensively, and they have been tough to come by. Jason Ferguson over at the scorer's table, and I think he's having a bit of an issue with the clock, maybe. Satisfied with the way things stand, and the ball is inbounded by the Cascade Cadets with under 5.5 to play in the half.
Well, little half-court trap now by Greencastle, Mark.
Their ball rotation is really impressive. 13 first half points for Mason Warren.
Cascade, I use the word comfort a lot because I think it's so important. They look like they're all on the same page. Their spacing's great, and they're just a comfort in their offense right now. It's really impressive.
Gooch walked with the basketball. Then got to give a lot of credit to the defense, Jan, when they saw him come in the paint. Obviously, they've scouted him, and they've scouted his moves well because there were two players that collapsed on him, and he couldn't recover in time to make the pass.
Yeah, they're switching on everything, and they're getting backside help. And anytime you're defending a good player, backside help is so important. Wow, what a good start for Cascade.
24-12. Greencastle, as we mentioned, winners of 9 straight.
Yeah, and listen, we're talking about a hot ball club in Greencastle. Cascade right now, clearly the better team so far.
They just appear to be more organized.
Yeah,
and as I
agree.
say that, they turn the basketball over. Sam Gooch in transition and throws that off the foot of Ian Williamson.
But even when Cascade has made mistakes, they have transitioned back pretty well in defense and not allow Greencastle to get that easy one going.
I guess that actually was kicked by a Cascade cadet. So Greencastle will get another opportunity and look to slice into that 12-point Cascade lead with under 5 to go in the first half. Long. McRoberts to Sutherland. Gooch just can't break free. And again, he's a 17-point per game scorer, and they've yet to be able to shake him loose. And he's trying to create. Ball was partially blocked, saved back in bounds, and here come the Cadets in transition. Sanders throws it up and underneath, and the follow-up is there and good.
Timeout Greencastle, they're not happy at all. They got to figure this out, Mark.
This game proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for last. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play and connectivity. Visit weendeavor.com or call 800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory. More of second quarter action when we come back.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash. Stream videos at blazing speeds. And game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast. And contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Good look at the brain trust of Greencastle High School. Bryce Rector with a record of 127-91. He is in his 9th season on the sidelines of Greencastle. And Jan, I was pointing out to you that one of the reasons why they've had such tremendous success is you look at all the years that he's been there. Troy Greenlee was the head coach for 15 years. Terry Ross was there for 6 years, and the legendary Doug Miller prior to that. I mean, you're talking about 4 coaches in 30 years at Greencastle High School.
And Mark, that is so important for young people to have that consistency in the leadership.
I worked with Terry Ross a lot when I was doing radio in Martinsville, and he was winning a lot of games at Mooresville. A class act and a guy who had success everywhere that he was.
There you go.
Good rebound, second chance opportunity for the Greencastle Tiger Cubs. Tegan McRoberts averages 6 points and 3 rebounds per contest. He's got 4 on the night now. Makes it a 26-14 affair.
And I'm guessing at that timeout, you know, being aggressive on the boards was a key topic.
Little fadeaway. Might have forced that a little bit, did Connor Sanders, and Greencastle's there. And they're trying to get it inside of 10 points before we get to the intermission. Good crossover pass, 3-pointer by Connor Sullivan, no good. And one opportunity only for the Tiger Cubs. Tremblay across the paint. Good ball reversal. Now Sanders. Marcus Hobson. And we've got a 30-second timeout. Cascade going to take a 30-second timeout and talk things over. We mentioned some of the semi-state action at New Albany. It's Cathedral and Roncalli, and Greensburg and Evansville Central, and 2A at Logansport. Whitco at Eastside, Sheridan and Rensselaer Central, and Jasper. It'll be Park Heritage and South Knox, Brownstown Central and Heritage Christian. At LaPorte, 1A action. Elkhart Christian, Lafayette Central Catholic, North Miami and Marquette Catholic. And it's South Decatur versus Borden and Anderson Prep at Northeast Du Bois. They will play at Shelbyville. And, of course, a busy night Friday night and a busy day and night Saturday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse as we will crown individual and team state champions in boys high school wrestling.
Yeah, that's always exciting. That place is packed. If you haven't been able to see the wrestling finals, it is something to see.
The face-off is unbelievable when the combatants of the championship rounds are introduced. It's really an impressive sight for sure. Look forward to being a part of that with Greg Rakestraw, Mike Gable, and Blake Maurer. Wide open underneath, and there for the easy deuce.
Well, Mark, right now what's happening is Cascade's doing all the little things really well.
Continue to double them up at 28-14 as we approach the 2-minute mark of the first half. Little bump, no call. Gooch, spin move, little fadeaway, kiss off the glass, no. Fights for the rebound, tries to keep a hold of it, and commits the foul.
Well, you can't fault the effort. He went hard, used the glass, didn't get quite the roll he wanted, and then was still battling but got the foul.
I might suggest it, of course, I'm undefeated sitting up here, but a lot of his buckets, he's trying to make something happen around the bucket. Sometimes when a guy's not shooting well from the outside, he wanted to put the ball on the floor and get into the hole. They might want to try to open him up from the perimeter a little bit, maybe bring that defense out some.
Well, you know, Greencastle's a team that shoots 50%.
Right.
And so a lot of their buckets have been inside, and so they've got to figure this out. Cascade knows that as well.
There's a good steal. Good transition, bucket opportunity, and one.
How well was that? Did you see how he used his body to hold the defender behind him and basically forced him to foul him? That's a talented play.
Trevin Long's been held in check. He's a double-digit scorer at 10.5 points per game. He's usually automatic from the free throw line. He shoots 80% on the season, but let's see if I gave him the broadcaster's curse here. And I did not, so thank you for that, young man. 3 points for him in the half now. A 28-17 affair. A little spurt, I think, before you get to the intermission will do wonders for you.
Well, you got to get some stops. The offense, I think, we're starting to see a little progression for Greencastle. Defense marks where they've got to really buckle down here.
Yeah, last couple of times their offensive opportunities have been created by their defense. Great ball rotation and another open three, and there ain't nothing like home cooking.
No.
Just ask Mason Warren, who's got 16 points in the half. Back to a 31-17 lead, and it is all Cascade early on.
Yeah, the three's been really kind to Cascade. They've really cashed in on it.
Deep three, Greencastle back the other way. I think Cascade will take that all night long. They would be fine with taking McRoberts taking that three.
Well, Greencastle shoots 34%. They're pretty good. They just have not connected so far tonight.
So clock under a minute now. As Cascade has the basketball, then they can be as patient as they want to be with a comfortable 31-17 lead. You see the clock approaching 40 seconds now. They led 19-8 at the end of the first quarter. And Greencastle has done nothing to shave anything off of that advantage here in quarter number two.
Well, I talked about getting off to that really good lead. And if you can do that and somewhat dictate the rest of the game, that's exactly how you want to play at home.
Down to 29 seconds now. Clock down to 20 seconds. Once you get inside of 10, you'll start seeing a little movement. Sanders and Hobson playing pitch and catch. Now you'll start to see some action as it gets down to 8 seconds.
This is just smart offense. There's no reason to rush anything here.
You can take this lead to the locker room
Absolutely.
if you want.
Dude, at best, maybe add to it. They don't do it, though.
And we've got time has expired. We'll see if there was a whistle right at the end of the half and if there's a call, and I believe there is going to be a foul call. But it was shooting. Well out away from the bucket, not in the act of shooting. Nobody in the bonus, so we will head to the intermission, and your score is 31-17 Cascade all over the Greencastle Tiger Cubs. We'll be back with halftime after we take this time out here on ISC Sports and Endeavor Communications.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast. And contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
And little volley, oh my goodness, what a touch for the goal. Jumped over by Lawrence North, and they'll score on it. Oh my goodness.
We are at halftime at Cascade High School, 31-17 in favor of the Cadets, and happy to have with us the outstanding head football coach at Cascade High School, Connor Simmons. And Coach, first of all, congratulations. I know your season ended in disappointing fashion, a tough loss to Tri-West in the postseason, but your 10-1 record this year, the most wins since 2006, and it's been a process for you here at Cascade. And I would imagine this past year was very rewarding in many ways.
Oh yeah. So 5 years ago, all I heard here was, man, you can't win, you can't win. And we just stuck to our philosophies, what we wanted to do and what we wanted to be. And we had a great group of seniors and juniors that bought in from day one as 7th and 8th graders. And they really took it to the next level. And, again, we have a lot of them coming back. So we're really looking forward to coming back and having another successful year.
Well, good on you for recognizing that you're only as good as your foundation, and when you're making an attempt to kind of get things going in a better direction, that's really where it's got to start. But I think you'll agree that the most important thing is to have an administration and the support of a group of people that's willing to be patient and let you set about that process.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, you have to have a good foundation, and it starts with the youth league. I'm really good friends with Olson. As much of a rivalry as Monroeville is for us, I kind of leaned on him and how they do things over there and just the history there. And they run the belly offense, the wing T offense. And, he was a big person that I looked at and said, hey, that's exactly what we're going to do. And we built it from the ground up. Our youth league runs that offense. And you can see the success that we are gradually having. And to me, it's because of just you implementing a youth league, get it in the middle school, and then at high school level, it just takes care of itself.
Well, a lot of folks will tell you I might not have did a lot of things right when I was head football coach at Monrovia, but one of the right things I did was hire Andy Olson as assistant so many years ago for sure. You talk about the tradition at Monrovia High School. A lot of folks may not be aware of it, but if you look at the history and tradition at Cascade High School, I'm going to throw out 3 names for you. Darren Fisher, Mike Kirshner, and Derek Boyers. Those are 3 pretty good football coaches that have been here once upon a time.
Oh, absolutely. And you also got to look at the assistant coaches. Chuck Sorrell is here, who's having success at South Putnam.
Right.
Dietz, who's the head coach at DePaul.
Yep.
I mean, you've had a long list of coaches who have come here and used it as a stepping stone, and I'm trying to avoid that. I want to stay here trying to make it a career and really build a program and make a consistent program, and hopefully that's what we're on the path to do.
A lot to be said about that. Andy Olson and I at Monrovia talked about that very thing. And, I remember when we were going through the interview process, I had Andy spend some time on the phone with Lance Scheib, who you know very, very well. And when Lance called me, I was on the committee to help select the next head coach. He said, Mark, a lot of guys want jobs, and a lot of guys are going to want your job. He said, but Andy Olson wants that job, and that's hard to find, and they clearly have found that in you. A couple of things I want to talk to you about with the future. You're getting ready, I believe, for your 3rd conference in 4 years coming up?
Third conference. So we start out in the ICC. So technically we didn't get in the WIC.
Right.
We didn't play that WIC. So
okay.
I'll settle for 2.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Well, I know you got Western Boone and Crawfordsville and Southmont and North Montgomery and I believe North Putnam. Yeah, this promises to be a very competitive conference. Greencastle also going to be in it.
Yeah, I think demographically speaking, it is a great conference for us. All the schools except for Frankfort are about 45 minutes apart at the longest, with Crawfordsville, Southmont, and North Montgomery. All relative in size, really rural areas. So I think it's a great fit for us after kind of being in the ICC. And I do think having played in the ICC gave us a benefit of giving us this, hey, we played with Lutheran a little bit in the first half, Cecina in the first half. But it's hard. I mean, it's hard to get success over and over again if you're getting beat down. And I'm nothing against that, but I think we're in a good position to where we can have year in and year out success going into the MAC conference.
I will say you guys did get out of the ICC at the right time because you won the overall conference trophy, I believe. Yeah. Said, okay, boys, I'm out of here.
In everything but football. But I do think we were starting to compete in football at a level that we were having a little bit of success. And this last year, 10-1. Who knows? I'm not going to make any what ifs or whatever, but I do think we could have been pretty competitive with the team that we had.
Well, I mean, you want to get to the point where tradition never graduates. I mean, that's the goal. That I am happy about the fact that with the new conference that Monrovia is in and the new Cascade that you were in, you were able to work with the administration there, the administration here, and the Bulldogs are back on your schedule next year.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. Week 1, I think it's a great atmosphere. In the 5 years that I've been here, every year it's been a good game. It's been a relatively exciting game. I mean, there's been some points. There's been some 6-0 games in the playoffs my first year. I mean, it's a great time battling with Andy across the field.
Yeah, all those kids know each other very well too, and a lot of them are friends, and they enjoy the competition for sure. As a football coach, I know, like me, you're one of those that are a big proponent of kids playing multiple sports, and it's got to make you feel good to see some of your football players performing so well with our basketball program here.
Yeah, so I'm kind of might be a little unorthodox when it comes to multi-sport athletes, and I will push them in every facet of the multi-sport athlete. I won't do any football stuff in the winter or spring. Yeah. We don't start until July. I want kids being able to compete for Cascade in every surface that we can, and a lot of our kids starting right now, our quarterback starting, Brady Trebley, who's having a heck of a game, Toby Savini, Marcus Hobson. We have a lot of kids playing, a lot of junior high or JV kids, and then you go into baseball and track. I mean, we got a lot of kids playing multiple sports. I think it benefits them in the long run to where they're not exhausted for the season and they're really itching at getting to get on the field and play some football.
Savini's dad teaches right across from me in Monrovia in our middle school, and he is a class act, and we're happy to have him as an educator. And I know Trebley's dad is the superintendent of Speedway. It's been tough for him to have to play Speedway Cascade past couple years.
It is. I do think he likes it, but it is. I think it's pretty competitive stuff, and the kids enjoy it. You know, Trebley's dad works for Speedway, but there's some.
That's right.
There's a little riff in the household, just to playful, and it's a good opportunity for the kids.
Well, Coach, I know Andy Olson's got a ton of respect for you. He considers you a friend, and I got to thank him for reaching out to you today and helping me set this up. And we're happy to have you on here to promote your program, and we wish you nothing but success moving forward.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come on and speak about Cascade Cadets.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you. Enjoy the rest of the game. Connor Simmons, outstanding head football coach here at Cascade High School. Jan Bozier rejoins me for second half action after this.
Want lightning-fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash. Stream videos at blazing speeds. And game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications. Technology for real people.
I tell you, that guy's like a Red Bull. I mean, that's like drinking a Red Bull at halftime. I mean, what a prize they have found in a head football coach in Connor Simmons here at Cascade. And happy to hear guys say, you know what, this is not a stepping stone for me. I'm happy here, I built it here, and I want to stay here. And as we mentioned, the most wins this year since Derek Moyers won 10 games in 2006. And got a lot of kids back and very optimistic about the feeder system. And I tell you, he's a good guy, and happy to have him on with us and give him a chance to promote his kids in his program.
Yeah, I've had 2 or 3 games here this year. One of them was rained out. This place is packed. The program is on an absolute high. They love their football. They got a lot of youth coming back. I think they're going to be something to be reckoned with next year, Mark.
Well, his defensive coordinator is one of my former assistants at Monrovia, Troy Edwards, who also was a longtime assistant coach at Beech Grove High School. He put together a really nice staff here of dedicated guys. And as we mentioned, as I said to him, Jan, I said, you talk about history and tradition. Darren Fisher, Mike Kirster, Derek Moyers have all been head coaches here at Cascade, so they've got a pretty impressive lineage in their own right.
Well, half one was dominated by Cascade. Can you put two halves together if you're Cascade? And what does Greencastle have as far as adjustments at halftime?
I think they've just got to find a way to attack the defense, and they may have to do it on the perimeter because they've just not had that many opportunities in the paint.
I completely agree.
They've got to loosen that defense up a little bit. If you're Cascade, I think it's business as usual. I think you continue to do the things that got you a lead just like that. And you get 2 or 3 chances in the bucket, especially point-blank looks.
There's no question that's been a difference maker for Cascade. They have really attacked the glass.
So they start the half with a bucket and bump the lead up to 33-17. Jason Ferguson on the whistle. I mean, we got full service tonight, Jan. Jason Ferguson came up here and actually wrote the official's name in on our roster here, so we know who was on the whistle. That's a full-service officiating
I think
crew.
so. He likes the prime time, too. He's a great guy.
All right. Gooch has to get on track. And that was an opportunity, I think, to do it, to go ahead and stretch that defense a little bit on that 3, but he's probably going to listen to Bryce Rector instead of me. That's probably a better plan anyway.
There you go.
That's a good, strong move inside by Sutherland.
Mark, the only thing I'd like to see out of Greencastle is a little more movement without the ball. You're making yourself a little too easy to guard right now.
That's a great point. 33-19 and a whistle. And little contact out high, and we're going to turn it over. Western Boone and Southmont left on the schedule for the Cascade Cadets. It's Owen Valley and North Montgomery for the Greencastle Tiger Cubs. And pairing show comes up Sunday.
Yeah, it does. It's hard to believe. Everything has absolutely flown by this year.
Most wonderful time of the year,
Yes,
brother.
it is.
No doubt about it, wrapping up these winter sports.
Talking about Southmont, they've had a pretty good year.
They have. Good one-on-one move. Trevin Long just can't convert. And here comes Cascade in transition. Three-pointer? Yes.
They just make good decisions. They really have. He talked about that too. The message to you this week, just make good, smart ball decisions, and so far so good.
I mean, David Carpenter could not be happy with the defensive effort, and they won. I mean, they're not really challenging Cascade defensively, not putting up much resistance, Jen.
Especially the teams in rhythm, and clearly Cascade is, you've got to do something to disrupt that. You've got to be a little more aggressive.
I think, though, if you're David Carpenter, you got to know that Bryce Rector's ball club can get back in this thing in a hurry. And so and the defense will help them do that. That's a really good block. But a second opportunity and a third opportunity.
Another rebound.
And a bucket for
There's
Tremblay.
your difference right now. The offensive glass is being dominated by Cascade. That right now has to stop if you're Greencastle.
And the lead has ballooned to 16 points. I think the defense has caused Gooch to become a little gun-shy. I mean, he's getting some scoring opportunities in the paint and on the perimeter, and he's passed them up. Kick in the corner, three-pointer, baseline left. There you go. That'll stretch the defense. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they got all the intention inside. Now you go back outside. That's good offense.
5 points now for him, 38-25. Cadets, the reverse of the foul. Game proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. They're blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based services. A game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor. For the winning play and connectivity, visit WeEndeavor.com or call 800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet Your fiber connection, your victory. That free throw rattles home. Tremblay, 11 points. Talked about him. Outstanding football player. Dad, superintendent of Speedway Schools, where my son is employed as a middle school science teacher. Rolls around and in. 12 points, Tremblay. 15-point lead for the Cascade Cadets. Trying to get a home win over Greencastle. They will join them in the Monon Athletic Conference next year. I mentioned 3 conferences in 4 years, and Coach Simmons was quick to remind me, we never formally entered the WIC, so I would call it 2 conferences in 3 years. I said, okay, Coach, I'll give you that.
Technicality.
That's right.
He's all about the details. You got to respect that, right?
Yeah, he's a detailed guy, no doubt. Good shot in a fadeaway mode, and he'll be rewarded with a trip to the free throw line. That Monon Athletic Conference, by the way, Crawfordsville, Frankfort, Greencastle, North Montgomery, North Putnam, Southmont, Western Boone, and Cascade. Geographically, that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, it really does. Got to spend some time over at Greencastle this past Saturday. Man, I loved every second of it. I had been back there for a long time. Gorgeous arena. Their facilities are just second to none over there.
Well, Superintendent Jeff Gibbon, he's had a large hand in that. I've known Jeff for a number of years. We coached football together at Monrovia. He was outstanding administrator at Eminence and then Bloomfield, and has really made his mark at Greencastle over the past few years. And Doug Greenlee, their athletic director, is as good as anybody you will find, and was a very gracious host to everyone involved.
Yes, he was.
In all of that. And they hosted the Putnam County Middle School and High School tournament all last week. So it was a crazy time for the folks at Greencastle. Three-pointer? No. Weak side rebound pulled off by Tremblay. Kicks it out. Another three-point opportunity, and this one is good.
Yeah, just once again, sounds like a broken record, Mark, but Cascade is dominating the boards, and it's absolutely breaking the back of Greencastle.
3.5-minute mark of the third quarter. Greencastle in transition. This time he's able to, Traven Long's able to get it to fall through, and he's at 7 points now within a couple of his average, which is 10. Little reach there, no call. Cascade recovers and resets the offense. Kick outside, underneath, wide open, easy deuce. Tremblay, great ball rotation away to attack the lane.
Great ball rotation and patience, extra pass.
14 points for him. And Mr. Traven Longs is saying, you know what, I'm going to do what I can to get us back in this thing.
I think the offense has to go through him now. If they're going to get back in there, you got to go through your guy. He's their guy. It needs to go through him. He doesn't have to do it all, but he needs to go through the offense needs to start through him.
6 straight points for him, but it's still 45-31. They can use a stop here, and they get one with an unforced error on the Cadets.
Well, they're comfortable in that 2-3 mark. They have not come out of it, and with the lead, they're going to have to be extra aggressive.
Traven Long heating up a little bit with 6 straight points for Greencastle, trying to will them back into it. 2.5-minute mark of the third quarter. It's been all Cascade at all the stops. They'll work the perimeter now. Skip it over for an open 3. No good. Follow your shots, young man.
Yep.
That is a lost art. Rebound comes down to the Cascade Cadets.
Good ball rotation, got a decent shot, but to your point, did not follow the shot and did not rebound, because you're going to get those long rebounds, and if you follow your shot, you got a good chance of getting it.
Cascade now content to spread the floor a little bit, and it results in an easy opportunity and a foul. Boy, the way they spread the defense out on that offensive set, that was impressive.
Well, Greencastle's in this 2-3, and they're forcing that front two of the 2-3 to really come out because they have to, and that's really making it thin in the paint.
Brady Tremblay, 6'2" junior, at the free throw line. 14 points on the night for him. A little short on the free throw. You're good at lots of things like cheering your team on to victory. Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Nathan Begley is good at your insurance. That's why Nathan's here to help you think through any questions you have about auto, home, renters, business, or life. Talk to Nathan in person, online, or over the phone at 317-507-7871. Stop by his office, 9821 East U.S. Highway 36 in Avon. Tremblay was good on 1 of 2 free throws. give him 15 points and a turnover to the Tiger Cubs. The lead back to 15. Under 2 minutes to play in the quarter.
Yeah, that's an untimely. There's never a good time for a turnover, but when you're trying to make a run, that's not a good turnover.
Well, conventional wisdom tells you you really need to be around 10 going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
It just makes you press, and you have to make so much productivity happen out of every possession, and they sky for the rebound and commit the turnover. Busy schedule. Other games of note around the state. Bloomfield and Sullivan, Eastern Hancock hosting Blue River, Clay City at Linton. North Montgomery welcomes Clinton Central tonight. Crawfordsville at Lafayette Central Catholic. A couple of other games interested these two teams. Edgewood at Northview. And in Central Indiana, it's Fishers at Lawrence North. That should be a good one.
Yeah, that's on ISC as well. And big one there. There's everybody, then there's Fishers.
Lots of hands and a hand check going to be called. Greenwood Christian's at Chittard tonight. Bethesda Christian, Heritage Christian. Addicks at Tinley. Cecina welcomes Roncalli. Irvington Prep at Traders Point. Indianapolis, Washington playing in the dedicated George McGinnis Gymnasium, hosting Lafayette Jeff. Monrovia's at Triton Central. Center Grove at home with Mooresville. Evidence at home tonight. Brownsburg hosting North Central of Indianapolis. Some of the games around the Hoosier State tonight. And another back screen and another easy opportunity. 8 points for Connor Sanders.
Well, that's just moving without the ball. You kind of need Greencastle to follow that same thing. See, a lot of one-on-one, very difficult shot, but you're just not getting any backside movement, Mark.
Sutherland commits the theft and gives it off for the easy deuce to Traven Long, who has 11 points now. Still a 15-point lead, under a minute to play in the quarter. Trebley, foul.
And then some. You talked about the leads. Cascade had a 19 lead, ended a half at 12. And that really good start, Mark, they just took off from there.
They did. And, I mean, you don't want to have a game like this, but if you're Bryce Rector, I mean, if you're going to have it now, it's better than have it 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not content to let them burn clock here with 21.3 seconds left. Instead, choosing to force Connor Sanders to the free throw line. And he's good. He's trying to get in double figures. He's at 9 right now. Warren with 16, Trebley 15, Savini 3, Ryder Williams with 5. Sanders trying to get into double digits with 10 points.
You know what you need so bad out of young men is you put these game plans together, then you need execution. Cascade so far after 3 has really executed.
You know, really one of the things that I've been impressed with out of both ball clubs, they really don't go very deep into their respective benches.
A
couple of substitutions here and there, and that's about it. Keep in mind, Sam Gooch, David Carpenter talked about him in the notes that he gave me as a baseball pass goes the length of the floor. And here's the key. Sam Gooch, Mr. Do Everything for them, 17 points, 5 rebounds per contest. He ends the third quarter with just 6 points on the night. Fourth quarter action when we come back to Cascade High School.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash. Stream videos at blazing speeds. And game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
David Carpenter said coming in, we're going to have to obviously focus on Gooch, keep him out of the paint. When he gets near the rim, you can forget about it. Sutherland's a tough matchup for anyone. We'll have to handle his physicality. Long's penetration and playmaking, a major problem for teams, and we have to make sure we are contesting shooters on the floor. I think mission accomplished.
No doubt, and Cascade, impressive, has extended their lead a little more every quarter. They've really made, you talk about regardless of the sport, make yourself hard to play against. And Cascade, I think, really has accomplished so many things, but that one really stands out. Execution, and they've just really made themselves hard to defend.
Sutherland, 13 points per contest. He has 6 on the night. Good on both free throws. Again, these are two really good basketball coaches who happen to be good friends, and they have lent themselves to the consistency that their respective programs have enjoyed. Both of these schools have had 4 coaches over a 30-year period, and that's one of the reasons why they're doing so well and they're so competitive, because of that consistency.
I think that Greencastle, Mark, has got to figure out how to get to the free throw line a little more.
I mean, that's a hustle bucket right there is all that is. I mean, he came all the way from basically the volleyball line to involve himself in that play.
Well, in the 2-3 zone, it's a little more difficult to find a checkout, but it's something you got to do regardless what defense you're in.
Ryder Williams, we talked about David Carpenter, his 4th year here. He went 8-15, 7-17, 10-12. Right now, he's 11-8. That's progress. That's what you want to see.
Yeah.
He took over for Chris Dubois. He was here for 17 seasons, 5 seasons under Jason Young, and 4 seasons under Tim McRoberts. Just like Greencastle, 4 coaches in 30 years.
Boy, and there's a great list, really, of juniors on this floor, too.
Right.
There's only 3 seniors, I believe, on both teams.
51-35, all Cascade cadets under the 7-minute mark in quarter number 4. Trayvon Long has tried to will his team back into this one, and he's done so around the bucket, but misfired on the 3 there. Not going to be a lot to write home about for David Carpenter and his ball club, but this is a veteran staff and a veteran coach. And after they've reeled off 9 in a row, I've never bought into the good loss theory, but I think this is a message to their kids that they still have some work to do.
Well, I think the other piece is Cascade's got a little more length than Greencastle does, and they've exploited that tonight too. They've got some 6'5s, and they're very, very balanced, and I think their defense with that length has been problematic for Greencastle.
Well, these were, in truth be told, 2 teams in the middle of winning streaks, because Cascade has reeled off 7 wins in a row prior to tonight.
Right.
So that tells you they've both been playing very, very well. Gooch. Again, he's a problem around the bucket, but he hasn't been for Cascade tonight. They've done a really good job of defending him. That's a nice move.
Very nice move.
I like it. 7 for Sullivan.
Under control. That's so important when you get in the paint. Don't panic.
And a block on the easy opportunity. Going to make him go to the free throw line and earn it, but quite frankly, a little slow to rotate back.
Mark, how many times have you used the terminology hustle play?
Yep.
Cascade continues to win the hustle plays.
You can see, though, there's enough of it, and even though we've not seen them this year, you can see why David Carpenter was really concerned about Bryce Rector's ball club. I mean, there's a lot of outstanding pieces on the floor, and some nights things just don't come together for you. And Jan, I think you hit the nail on the head. Cascade got off to a really fast start, and I don't know that Greencastle was able to recover from it.
For some reason, I know that's not unique to any year, but this year, when I have sad games, Mark, when a team, especially at home, gets off to a solid start, they make it really difficult.
And, you know, trust me, they're the last ones that are going to make any excuses, but I'm telling you right now, playing in your county tournament takes a lot out of you. And, you know, they played back-to-back the 13th and the 14th, very busy weekend with everything going on and a lot of distractions and whatnot. Then you got to come right back and play on Tuesday night. But I got a feeling Bryce Rector's going to say, guys, this is what the sectional's going to be like for us.
Exactly my point,
you know,
100%. Yeah, that's tournament. That's good scheduling.
That's right.
And it may cost you a loss, but it teaches. This is all about teaching and getting better.
Yeah. Of course, I tell students of mine when they come in the classroom, they talk about how tired they are. I said, you're not old enough to be tired. Wait till you get to be my age and you know what tired is.
That is so true.
It's one thing to be young and tired, another to be old and tired.
That is very true. two different types of tired.
That's right.
Here you see the pass inside, a little back outside, but I like going to the rim. I think they got to figure out as this game winds down, more and more trips to the free throw line. It's not a bad thing for Greencastle.
Sam Gooch missed everything on that free throw, and it barely skimmed the net as Dan Carpenter wants to take a 30-second timeout and talk things over just to make sure they keep the focus down the stretch. This game proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor Communications doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play and connectivity. Visit weendeavor.com or call 800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection and your victory. As we mentioned, a couple of games left for these teams. For the Greencastle Tiger Cubs, a home date with Owen Valley. Close out the season with North Montgomery. For Cascade, they'll take on the Stars of Western Boone, playing well of late. 7:30, they'll host them. And then on the 25th, they will be at Southmont. As we mentioned, both these schools going into the brand new Monon Athletic Conference next year. And that'll be a good one for sure. Gooch atones for the woeful miss on the first attempt and has 7 points off his average of 17. Greencastle dialing up the full court pressure. Cascade able to break it, and it results in an easy deuce. Toby Savini with just his 5th point, but he is a classic distributor. Back to a 15-point lead under 5 minutes to play in the ballgame.
Well, Cascade, among so many good things, their press breaker has been spot on. Very little dribbling, great spacing, pass all the way to the rim.
Traven Long forces one up, and again, he tried to do all he could in the third quarter to get his ball club back in it, but was just not able to make that happen. Good move by Sanders, and he will go coast to coast, and no one stepped in to take the charge, and he has 12 points. Back the other way, an easy deuce for McRoberts. 6 points for him. Good theft by McRoberts. Kicks it ahead to Sam Gooch. Gooch in transition. Sutherland and 1. 11 points for Nathan Sutherland.
Well, I think overall we're starting to see a little bit of tired legs right now because we're seeing a little less getting back on defense. Both teams just literally walking right to the rim.
Greencastle, as we mentioned, for both teams, postseason play around the corner. The draw comes up on Sunday. 2A, Sectional 41, Greencastle, Park Heritage, Southmont, South Putnam, South Vermilion, and North Putnam. Those are the teams in their sectional. All Cascade cadets. Warren taking plenty of time, ball knocked away. Last touched by the cadets, an unforced error on Cascade.
Still tons of time here. Greencastle's got to make a dent, and they've got to start making it quickly here, though, Mark.
Clock's against them, especially as patient as Cascade can be with the basketball the other way. 57-44. Little head and shoulders fake at a 3. No. Rebound controlled by Cascade. In transition, Sanders. Tremblay's reverse. No. Rebound. Greencastle.
Tremblay's literally lived around the rim today.
Sullivan with the kick to Sutherland and 1.
I like it. I have said now for the last couple of minutes, figure out how to get the free throw line that stops the clock, gives yourself a shot. You hit this one here, Mark, we could get this thing within 10. They still got some breath here left.
Timeout on the floor. David Carpenter wants to talk things over. He 11-point lead with 3 minutes to go, and he wants to make sure that their focus stays strong because this Greencastle squad can score points in a hurry. 3A Sectional 27 for the Cascade Cadets will feature the Northview Knights, who have had a whale of a season, the Edgewood Mustangs, Indianapolis, Washington, the Speedway Sparkplugs, and the Owen Valley Patriots. And I would say right now, based upon what we've seen tonight and what we've seen over the course of the season, Jan, if the draw goes the right way, it's going to eventually match up with Northview and Cascade, I think.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's a 16 sectional. Both teams have 16 sectionals.
As we mentioned, 2A Sectional 41, Greencastle, Park Heritage, Southmont, South Putnam, South Vermilion, and North Putnam. 1 2A, 1 3A. Girls semi-state action around the state on Saturday. Jan will be a part of that. I'll be at Gamebridge Fieldhouse on Saturday afternoon and evening, bringing you the state championship in boys high school wrestling.
Going back to Logansport, been there many a times. They do a great job of hosting.
Oh, yeah, they do. It's a cool gym for sure.
I love that gym. If you haven't been back there in a while, they painted the floor incredibly bright with new lights. You get blinded when you go
That's
there
right,
now.
yeah. I mean, I think about that whenever I see the name Edgewood. Our good friend Scott Fisher, the head coach down there, got that bright red turf at Edgewood. I don't know who thought that was a good idea. Ball knocked away, so Cascade can track down possession, and they do, and they're trying to avoid a half-court trap. And they do. They're going to be very patient offensively, I would think. Warren, as Greencastle uses that half-court trap, almost stolen away. Sanders, slam jam. That might be the exclamation point off of that pressure.
I'd say that's pretty high percentage point. He's just absolutely cashed in around the rib tonight.
13-point lead now.
Actually, a couple of them have.
Greencastle can't afford to be too patient. That three-pointer, just no legs on that shot.
Sanders and Trebley have just been a dynamic duo inside.
Trebley on the dribble, has it knocked away, and I believe it was last touched by Greencastle. Yeah, we can see a lot of chests are heaving right now, Jan. I mean, that conditioning's getting tested for both these basketball teams.
Well, you mentioned earlier, they do not go real deep, and so you're playing a lot of minutes. I suspect it's been that way most of the year, but to your point, they have played a lot of basketball the last few days, too.
2 minutes remaining in this one, and the sand starting to slip out of the hourglass on the Greencastle Tiger Cubs. And again, Greencastle fans, do not fret. This is a talented basketball team and an experienced coaching staff, and they will rebound quickly, most assuredly. Three-pointer? No. Off front. And again, I just think the legs, Jan, I mean, they just seem like they're gone.
No, I completely agree. And that's why, once again, not to beat a dead horse here, but when teams have played a lot of games, you get out and get that lead quick. You can really kind of dictate, and that's what Cascade's been able to do.
Well, and it's not just a matter of playing games. I mean, if they had played, I don't know, Owen Valley and Northview, and Northview's a good basketball team, so, you know, but the Putnam County tournament, I mean, that, it's always amazed me that tournament takes place so late in the year. It reminds me of football several years ago when Chris Cole was coaching at Tri-West High School. Their Week 9 game was Danville. And one year we beat them when I was a head football coach at Monrovia. I think it was one of the few times in the history of Monrovia Tri-West that Monrovia ever won. And Chris Cole told me, we were beaten up.
Yeah.
And they were begging their athletic director, please get that schedule changed. Get that away from Week 9, which I think they have since done, because things that mean that much not only take a lot out of you physically, but they take a lot out of you mentally and emotionally.
No question. And listen, that's pride. You know, you win your county and those types of things. You do put a lot of heart and soul in that. And you can just tell, to your point, Greencastle, they just don't seem like they have all the pep that I think they have had. They'll regroup.
They're going to make some noise in the postseason.
No doubt.
I'm confident of that for
doubt.
sure. There's a lot of talent on that basketball team. But, hey, give all the credit in the world to David Carpenter and the game plan that he put in place tonight. And they have executed it to perfection, especially their defensive game plan, Jan. We talked about not letting Gooch get loose in the paint. He's had a hand in his face and a body on him every time he's gotten in the lane. And, talked about playing defense against their big man Sutherland. They've contested him, and they've just, they've executed their game plan very, very well tonight. Give them all the credit in the world for it.
No question about it. Just they have really, you talk about execution, all the small things. Good check out, rebounding, great spacing, really very few turnovers. That I think is as much of a key as anything.
And they get a rebound with just one guy on the lane and a foul. I tell you, Trebley, he is a tough dude. He is a tough dude.
It's easy to recognize those type of kids.
Oh, man.
Just the grit and grind, man. Just they enjoy physicality.
There are hundreds of players just like him in the state of Indiana, and in my opinion, it's what makes Indiana basketball so great. Just a good athlete, a good hard-nosed kid. I mean, Connor Simmons and I talked a little bit about him and some of the other guys on their basketball team that play football, and he goes, I'm old school. He said, I force guys to play other sports. I want them to play other sports because I want our best athletes competing in all of our sports.
Well, you and I talked about that earlier. Completely agree for a lot of reasons. Absolutely agree with that.
Breakaway opportunity. And the finish from Mason Warren, 18 points for him, and that's going to do it. Approaching the 1 minute mark, 63-43. It's all Cascade. And they will carry momentum of 8 straight wins. Check that. They had 8 straight wins and then a loss, we should say, to Phelan Academy in overtime. So they'll try to close out with 3 straight wins by beating Western Boone and Southmont.
Three of their last 5 games, they've held teams around less than 40. That tells you, and that's, you got to be excited about that if you're Cascade. Going into the tournament, defense wins championships. It just does. The offense has really gotten consistent, but you can hold teams around that 40, you're going to win a lot of games.
15 points for Nathan Sutherland makes it a 65-46 affair, and he'll check out. As both coaches going a little deeper into their benches now with everything decided but the final score in this one. Connor Sanders played a nice ball game for Cascade tonight. He has 14 points, Trebley with 19. 18 for Warren. Timeout for substitutions. Leading scorers for the Tiger Cubs, Sutherland with 15, Long with 11. Gooch averages 17, and Jan, they held him to 7 tonight. That was huge.
That's impressive. And listen, you always want to protect your home court. I mean, you want to win everywhere, but make it hard to beat you on your home court. Another feather in Cascade's hat tonight.
McRoberts had 6. Ian Williamson held to just 2 points tonight. Clock down to 40 seconds. Threw it up a little too short. Ball kicked out of bounds. It'll go back to Greencastle for the Cadets. Paced by Mason Warren. Or check that. Brady Trebley with 19. Warren with 18. 14 for Sanders. Ryder Williams with 7. 5 for Savini. So all 5 scores, all 5 starters scoring for both ball clubs. And McRoberts adding 6 points off the bench. Time winding down, and they'll walk the ball across the floor and hold it there, we think. So for the Greencastle Tiger Cubs, it'll be time to regroup before they take on the Owen Valley Patriots on February the 22nd. And on the 21st, it'll be the Cascade Cadets hosting Western Boone. Cascade improves to 12-8. Greencastle has their winning streak stopped at 9 games as they fall to 15-6. Jan, overall, your thoughts on this contest?
Well, I just thought Cascade's defense, it all started there. Obviously, we highlighted the good start and just consistent offense. Just really every quarter was a duplication of the last got better every quarter. That's a good home win.
Well, brother, I'll tell you, I enjoy doing these. I enjoy them even more, the chance to do them with you. And I'm happy that I've been able to introduce you to some very good restaurants over the past couple of weeks.
Don't stop now, friend.
Yeah. Well, safe travels down the road. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do this again real soon.
You got it.
Got to thank Scott Stevens and the outstanding administration here at Cascade High School for all of their hospitality. Thanks to our crew for providing great pictures, as always, throughout the course of this night. Greencastle trailed at all 4 stops. It was 19-8 Cascade at the end of 1, 31-17 at the intermission, 50-33 after 3, and again the final score 63-48. By the way, Cascade gets the sweep. They win the JV contest 55-44. Don't forget, coming up this weekend, semi-state action for girls high school basketball. And Friday, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, and Saturday night, we will crown individual and state and team champions in the state high school wrestling finals at Cambridge. Get out and support high school athletics throughout the course of this week. One final time from Cascade High School. For Jan Bozier, this is Mark James saying so long, everybody.